Now, the bandwagon, as they say, was getting heavy. Everyone started to jump on the bandwagon again.
Portland is not in a position to try to come back, and he should just kind of leave that alone.
Stop being satisfied with mediocre performances.
I don't like it. Plain and simple, I really don't like it. An all-star game just shows how much they just kind of continue to placate the players and their lackadaisical efforts on the court.
You really sparked my interest, and I'm sure that of many others. Alister, Albert, thank you very much.
Hello and welcome to a new episode of Baseline to Baseline with Alister on Orain. As usual, episode 19 coming to you just after the Easter break, Easter day, Easter Sunday. Happy Easter to everyone. Happy belated Easter, because it's now past and you're going to get this a little later on. We're recording this here on Easter Monday for us. Well, I'm in the UK as usual, Orain in Jamaica. So I hope you've all had a lovely time with family, had all the Easter egg hunts, enjoyed all the chocolates and everything. The kids had a really good time for what it is, but also, of course, remembering what the point of the day is, remembering the resurrection of Jesus Christ, which, of course, as Catholics or as Christians, we are definitely something that we all really big on celebrating. It's not just Christmas, during the time of the year. This is also a really big pivotal time for keep on saying Catholics, Christians around the world. So, happy Easter to everyone who celebrated that. And yeah, we'll just jump straight off into it because we had loads of different topics that have come up. As usual, Orain and I have our little discussions in the backgrounds and things that we want to discuss. And of course, we landed on these three topics, and we're going to start straight off with Flagg, who has, of course, been one of the top two candidates for Rookie of the Year this season, has had a phenomenal season, has had quite a bit of injury, but in the last couple of games has shown why he has been at the top of the discussions with Kon Knueppel and VJ Edgecombe and some of the other guys who are not really in the competition for Rookie of the Year. But Flagg had an outstanding night last night, going against the Los Angeles Lakers and scoring 45 points, which is his second game after scoring 51 points. 96 points in the last couple of games, and he's been outstanding for this season. Lots of people are saying that the odds are now switching in his favor after these two games. Orain, I'm not sure if you managed to get a look at the game. What do you think about, the young man, Mr. Flagg, what he's been able to do for the Mavericks this season? We haven't really spoken about him too much this season. So it's a really good time to kind of give him his flowers for what he's been able to do with just a few games left. And do you think these last performances that he's had probably puts him in a good position to get Rookie of the Year from Kon Knueppel, who we both said should win Rookie of the Year the last episode out?
Well, Flagg has been a phenom since his arrival in the NBA, to be fair. He has done outstanding on both ends of the floor. But going through his stats, Flagg breakout game for me came on November 29, 2025. Yeah?
Okay.
That was the LA Clippers when he had 35 points and 8 rebounds. Okay. Now that game, because from the start of the season, he was somewhat timid on the offensive end. You could see him when he was going about business, he was holding back.
Right.
That game showed me everything that I wanted to see in regards to what he can do on both ends of the floor.
Right.
He was dominant, he shot well, and he defended well as well. So that breakout game on November 29 stood out to me, and ever since then, Flagg's game has just gone up an ante every single game. And I'm very pleased how he has gone about business. I mean, at the start of the season, everyone was saying he's about timid, he's not coming into his own as yet. But we have to remember, everyone develops at their own pace. Not every player will come into the end and just go like a LeBron James or a Garnett and just off the bat they're just phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, some players they take time to just get their feet wet and just continue just be dominant on the floor. And going through these interviews, listen to how he speak because I'm one. Whenever I'm really looking at a player, I not only watch what they do on the court, off the court, but I'm a very peculiar person when it comes to interviews and how players present themselves and how they talk,
Right.
what they see, not only victories after losses. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this quote came from last night's game against the Lakers. He said, it's definitely tough. There were times in the start of the year where it was taking a toll on me personally, not mentally.
Right.
And I said, yes, because I saw it at the start of the season.
Yeah.
He was hesitant. Yeah, he was very hesitant. You could see it. I mean, coming out with that ball, and now he's in the NBA. It's a different ball game now.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think, man, I'm just pleased to see his progression. I don't think his last two games, 51 points in 34 minutes against the Magic and then 45 versus the Lakers in 39 minutes, has done enough to sway me into towards him in Rookie of the Year. I still have Kon Knueppel as Rookie of the Year at this juncture of the season, but
Right.
Cooper Flagg can be. And looking at one thing as well, the NBA rookie contract. Not saying he should be, but I don't expect him to be because we haven't seen players rookie demand trades or leave their team after one or two seasons. Yeah? Because the NBA has changed their policy and things like that in recent times. But the rookie contract now is a 4-year deal for first round picks.
Yes.
First 2 years are guaranteed, then the other two are team options.
Options. Yeah.
Now, looking back on certain things, two names jump out in
Okay.
regards to rookie. Yeah? Chris Webber.
Okay.
The Golden State Warriors after one season drafted him in the 1993-1994 season. That was a huge problem with his coach at the time, Don Nelson, who wanted him in the center position.
Yes.
Yeah? He wanted no part, both buttheads, and he was like, nope, one and done, like, out. Brian Shaw was the next player who jumped out. Left the Celtics after one season, 89 season, he went overseas to play, and then he returned. Now I'm saying players are upset, not happy with how their rookie season are going. Why are we not seeing more players demanding to go elsewhere after one or two seasons in the league? Is it because of loyalty, you want to be disrespectful? Because to me, Cooper Flagg wants to win. Interviews. This kid wants to win and he wants to win. No. When you have a player like Cooper Flagg sitting in 12th in the Western Conference, at this, he's looking and saying, you know, I think I'm much better than this. I probably should be an 8th, 9th seed towards a playing tournament in the NBA. No, not a 12th seed. Close to the
Similar to his ex-teammate Kon Knueppel, who's now in vying for the playoff seed. So yeah.
Very much. So he's looking at that and saying, I think I should be better off. But I think he'll ride out as long as possible. As I say, we haven't seen it in recent times where rookies coming to the league dominant. I mean, play and say, you know what? No, I'm not happy after one or two seasons. And if I don't think he'll do that, but I think we should see more players in their rookie year demanding more of their team.
Right.
Look at when his second year in the NBA, right?
It's fourth year, I think. Third year, I think.
Second in the Western Conference. No, the argument now for and not to stray from Cooper Flagg. No, the argument now with when it comes to Wemby is not about playoffs anymore. People are really talking about Wemby winning MVP and the NBA Finals. Yeah, so gone are the days when people sit 8, 9 seasons deep in their NBA career and then finding their own. No, players are coming in now 1, 2 seasons. After 3, 4 years, they're saying, all right, NBA
Have to go.
championship
Yeah.
so I can compete for an NBA title. And I think this is a very good mindset because as we keep on saying, Alistair, after a while, when the door closes, when that window shuts,
Mm-hmm.
discussion with other NBA analysts, other NBA players, the first thing they're going to draw, what have you won? So I think Cooper Flag should maximize as much as possible in his early days because
Yeah.
it's not setting to become a Damian Lillard after your peak. Now you're trying to find a way to scrabble for an NBA title and probably your window is gone. So I think they should maximize their peak as much as possible. And I think
Mhm.
Cooper proper mindset to go far in this league.
Yeah, that's an interesting point that you made. And I think, well, coming into the season, I think you remember a lot of people were saying that, boy, he's going to be coming into a really good situation. Anthony Davis will hopefully be healthy. Kyrie Irving will be on the mend. He should be back by January. They have a really good, solid team with Derek Lively and Gafford. You know, they have a good team. So he'll be coming into a situation which is not full of pressure. He'll be able to just come in and contribute as a super role player because everybody knows the talent that he has coming in, but he'll not be asked to be a number one pick, carrying the load too much. And of course, we all know what happened with that. Kyrie Irving never came back from injury, and I think he probably did that conservatively because not seeing what happened with Anthony Davis not being able to play much of the season, decided to just hold himself back. And of course, Anthony Davis getting traded to the Wizards. So Cooper Flag had to really pick up on that. And I think, to answer your points about, loyalty and whether or not these rookies are, why would they not probably want to ask for better situations moving forward? I think what we've seen over the last 10 to 15 years, where it's the reverence that has been paid to players who stay in one franchise and being able to lead that team and build their history. You have the Steph Currys, you have the Kobe Bryants, you have the Dirk Nowitzki right there in-house, someone who had spent so much time with their team and being able to develop it. I think that narrative has now kind of created more of a, I want to do that because I could see, how this legendary status could be built with one franchise and people will then adore you because you've been able to do it with that one franchise. I think that has become more of a thing over the last 10 to 15 years, um, rather than, maybe back in the day when guys were just trying to look out for themselves straight away and wanting to make an impact. So you mentioned Brian Shaw and Chris Webber coming out. These guys when it came out from college thinking that, I'm the man. I want to be the man, and if you see you don't go, if this doesn't go how I want it to go, I will move. Kobe Bryant himself, coming from the draft, he was supposed to be drafted. Well, there was a number of offers that were made to him. He was drafted by the Charlotte Hornets. The New Jersey Nets wanted to pick up Kobe Bryant as well. Rick Pitino was the coach at that time, and his agent was like, no, 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 no. We don't want to play for you guys. We want to play for the Lakers. And of course, the trade between the Charlotte Hornets and the Lakers happened. So back then, I think there was this thing about wanting to establish where you want to be really early. Whereas now, I think people have seen one franchise star staying for as long as they have, and people now want to replicate that because they see the value of staying in one place for quite some time. But your point is taken because I think, once these guys get frustrated, that's where you want to see not necessarily that you want to see it, but that's where you see guys asking out because they want to be in better situations. And I think that probably happens after they spent a couple of years in the league and they've realized, they've gone past their second contract. This situation is not getting better. I need to leave. And I think that's kind of what it is. But coming back to him and the Rookie of the Year race, he's been outstanding. And like I said, when we had the discussion about Kon Knueppel, I said that Cooper Flag to me was my choice. But because of the consistency that this guy has played with Kon Knueppel, getting the team where it is, and they're now in the playoff hunt and everything. You know what this rookie race reminds me of? Go back to 2004. LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony. LeBron was doing everything, he was like highlights everywhere and everything, but Carmelo was just as steady in Denver, leading that team to the playoffs. And many people thought he had a better case because of that to win Rookie of the Year. But LeBron got it this feels like this again. It feels like, if Flagg wins it, it could be very similar to that situation where you have the more offensive, or the more all-rounded, more dynamic player winning the MVP race because his game translates to so much more. Whereas the guy who's steady and plays a very deliberate game and leads his team to the playoffs is not the one who wins. That's the last time we spoke about Kon Knueppel, I was thinking about that. It just felt like Carmelo and LeBron all over again. But the odds, the Vegas odds have flipped, totally flipped, leading into last week, Friday, before Easter. Kon Knueppel was leading in the Rookie of the Year race. After these last two games from Flagg, it's now switched. So, we're going down to the wire, similar to MVP. Rookie of the Year is going to be down to the wire as well. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next 4 games for these guys, because yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see who actually takes that trophy home. Yeah, so yep. So you want to say something there?
I totally agree with you, and this is what we like to see in the NBA. I mean, it's not a one-off race again,
Yeah.
or contender for it. We like to see competition at its highest, and we love it. I mean, Kon Knueppel, Flagg going for the Rookie of the Year. We have Wemby, we have Jokic, we have SG
High
for
level.
the record.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very interesting on who those winners will be at the end of the season.
That's it. And I call out just a couple of things I thought really interesting there from the little research that we did. First rookie since a Hall of Famer Walt Bellamy in 1962 to score 45 plus points in two consecutive games since 1962. The only other person who did that in 3 games straight was Wilt Chamberlain. So we know what that does, right? Flagg is also 3 of 4. Has 3 of the last 4 45-point games, 45 or more games, by a teenager in history. So any teenager in history who scored 45 or more points, he has had 3 of those last 4 games. And only one player, one of 6 players to score at least 45 points 3 times as a rookie, joining Bellamy, Wilt Chamberlain, like we said, Michael Jordan, Earl Monroe, and Lou Alcindor. Right? So again, another really good list to be joining. And the only rookies to be averaging 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists a game, he joins Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Luka Doncic, and Flagg. So, well, of course, Flagg being the last one. And it's just amazing to see what he's been able to do. And I think, these are the statistical things that he's been able to do. And visually, his game, that's why people are drawn to him as Rookie of the Year. But I think I will stick with you with this on this one. I think because of what Kon Knueppel has been able to do to elevate the Charlotte Hornets to be a potential playoff team, a team that won under 20 games last season. I'll put that up to correct me if I'm wrong. The Charlotte Hornets are sitting at 42 wins. Flagg is at 24. What we want in terms of value and how these guys increase or enhance their team's chances. Kon Knueppel has done that, and that is not to say that Flagg, maybe with other healthy talent around him, maybe he wouldn't have been able to do that. But I think, you need to reward consistency. And I think that's where we landed on Kon Knueppel as our Rookie of the Year last episode. But let's see how it plays out. Everyone loves the flash and the entertainment. And that's what Cooper has been able to do the last couple of games. So let's see what happens with that. And of course, what happened, or the other record I want to say really quickly as we segue into the next topic, they played the Los Angeles Lakers, and he played one of his guys. He said that was his idol, LeBron James. They became the youngest and oldest duo to score 20 points in a game. 41 points and 19 points. 41 years and 19 years, the youngest and the oldest player to be able to do that in a game in NBA history. I think, stats and new NBA history stats are coming up for LeBron because no one has done it at his age, the way that he's doing it. But yeah, they played the Los Angeles Lakers last night, and Lakers, of course, are down 2 major pieces, major pieces from their starting lineup. Austin Reaves, who has a grade 2 left oblique muscle strain and is out for the next 4 to 6 weeks, so he's missing the rest of the regular season. And Luka Doncic, who has a left hamstring injury, who is also out for the rest of the regular season, said to be reevaluated in a week. Now, the Lakers have, 4 games left, and, they're fighting to keep their third seed in the Western Conference Finals. What do you see from these Lakers moving forward? Do you think they could hold on to the third seed? Do you think the third seed is the best position for them moving into the playoffs? And yeah, just what you see so far with these injuries, and what do you think LeBron could do to kind of get them past the first round? Because it looks like they'll miss a significant amount of time with either Luka and or Austin Reaves out.
This is devastating for the LA Lakers franchise and LA Lakers supporters at their peak, right? Without James, Luka Doncic, Austin Reaves available. What would have been Lakers' peak with all three available? For me, it would have been conference final.
Right. That's with the team fully healthy. Yeah.
You two gone. You're asking now a 41-year-old LeBron James. Tons of mileage on his legs. As far as possible. The last 3 years in the playoffs, 2023, 4-0 sweep against the Nuggets in the conference finals, followed by the first round against the Nuggets again. Then last year, a 4-1 defeat against the Timberwolves in the first round. If the regular season ended today as we speak, third seed Lakers will face the Minnesota Timberwolves.
That's it.
That's a matchup. Ant-Man, being healthy, will be licking his lips. Because I've seen it in his game. This guy is a killer. Timberwolves starting lineup. Dante DiVincenzo, Anthony at the guard, Julius Randle, Jade McDaniels at the forward, Rudy Gobert at the center position. LA Lakers lineup, Doncic and Austin Reaves out. We're looking at Luke Kennard, Marcus Smart at the guard, LeBron at the forward, DeAndre Ayton at the center. A 7-game series, Minnesota Timberwolves taking that series probably 4-1, 4-2. LeBron James is good enough to win one on his own at this age.
Yeah.
The other players will probably scream to win our next game, but I don't see the Lakers beating the Timberwolves if they should go head to head. No.
Yeah.
Because the Lakers season, as I said, was looking promising. Yeah. Conference semi, you don't know, you're not sure who you draw at the conference semi position. Anything kind of near team, your opponent can get an injury or two.
Yep.
You move in conference finals, your position gets nervous. Boom, you win, you go into the NBA finals. But you can't, there's never been a team to fluke their way through an NBA title. You just can't.
Not at all.
You probably can fluke your way in the first round. Probably second round conference semi, but not the fourth.
Not at all.
Because team is undermanned significantly now, hampered with the loss of these two. Because as I said, at their best, at their very best, this team was short bench players. Not 8-9 deep. Because when you move into the playoffs, you're looking at an 8-9 man rotation max.
That's it.
It's a serious trouble. I still think they have enough. They have what it takes to hold on to that third seed. But who they join will be very, very crucial. And I think the LA Lakers are trying their best as possible not to see a Minnesota Timberwolves team in that first round.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting. Looking at the standings, and I'll put them up on screen in the edits as usual. But looking at the standings as at today, they're third, like you mentioned. Nuggets fourth, Rockets fifth, Wolves sixth, like we said. Games back. The Lakers are 12 games back from the Thunder, so they're not going to get to the Thunder. Let's leave that alone. They're not going to get the first seed. The Nuggets are tied with them in record, 50 and 28. So they're both at the same position. So they could move between each other between 3 and 4 quite a bit. The Houston Rockets are just one game back from the Los Angeles Lakers as well. So again, the Lakers could probably drop all the way down to 5th. I don't think they will fall as far as the six spots. The Minnesota Timberwolves are 4 games back from the Los Angeles Lakers. So that's too much ground to cover for the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're locked in at that 6th seed. So they could move between the 3rd and the 5th seed, just depending on the last games that play out. The last set of games for the Lakers, they play OKC, at Golden State Warriors, the Suns, and the Jazz. Now, the last 3 games there without Austin Reaves and Luka Doncic, OKC, I don't see them winning that game. I don't know what's going to happen here. Golden State, Steph Curry has just come back. He's looked a little good. Maybe that's a game that will be really tight down to the wire. Potentially win, who knows? Suns and Jazz, don't really know what to expect there as well. Those could kind of go either way. So let's give them a conservative going 2-2 the last 4 games. And then you have the Rockets and Denver and Wolves who have very interesting games moving forward the rest of the way as well, playing a lot of potentially playoff teams as well. The Lakers, I think, will be in a lot of trouble. And like you said, I don't see them being able to play, let's say, as it stands right now, the Timberwolves, and win a 7-game series against the Timberwolves with LeBron having to win them. LeBron will be able to probably carry them to 2, maybe 3 wins, let's say, in that series. I'll give them maybe 2, because you're asking a lot of a guy who's 41 years old, and we know, has to take a lot of time off in between plays to keep that energy to do what he needs to do. One of the things that I've said about LeBron this season, which has been remarkable to see, is I can't understand how a guy who's 41 years old able to do the power dribbles, the dunks. He's leading the league in fast break points as a 41-year-old. Do the things that he's doing and hasn't had a hamstring issue, hasn't had a TA, hasn't had a pull that has kind of kept him out for quite a lot of time. Of course, to start the season, he had the sciatica issue and everything. Very surprisingly, the sciatica hasn't popped up again during the season. I'm not going to link to any conspiracy theories here, but you could take with that as you will. But LeBron James, doing what he has been remarkable to that point. But to ask him to do that amount of offensive and defensive production, because he'll have to do both without Luka and Austin Reaves there, it's too much. So this could potentially be a very quick exit for the Lakers. And it's really unfortunate because they were starting to get into their groove. LeBron has he's changed his mindset and his role, accepted that third piece role. Like you said at the start of the season, he has to take that third option, role really seriously to make them maximize what they could do. And he's done that, and they've been able to get to the 3rd seed. JJ Redick has done a really good job with, the team to kind of get them to where they're at. But I think there's a possibility that Luka might come back just in time, but it's really hard to tell because you don't want him with a left hamstring injury going into the playoffs injured. But the Los Angeles Lakers are in a very precarious position with LeBron James, potentially having his last season with the Lakers, and I don't know what to expect from this. But I think if the playoffs shake out the way that it is, okay, let's say they drop down to the 4th or 5th seed, they're likely to play the Houston Rockets, let's say, potentially, as a 5th seed. That also is a really difficult matchup. Can you ask LeBron James to chase Kevin Durant across the court? I don't know if that's really good for him and the team. So it's going to be interesting. I think it's a first round exit, Orain. But it's you don't want to say that the king can do it. But, being realistic about what the situation is with these 2 guys injured, I think we might be seeing a very early exit for the Los Angeles Lakers with the playoffs coming just a few weeks away.
As we've seen it in the last, as I said, we've seen it in the last 3 years. Conference first round, it's not looking any different this season. And I said at their peak, at their very best, with all 3 ones available, I was looking at a conference semi.
Yeah.
Possibly a conference. I don't know with those 2 guys. It's very difficult. And the questions about how long will LeBron James continue will be even louder now because, say, for example, he should get bounced in the first round.
Yeah.
So that's consecutive. You've bounced out in the first round. Like, how long will you continue?
Yeah.
There's nothing left for you to prove when it comes to stats, numbers wise. There's absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
What are you continuing to prove on the
Mm-hmm.
the scorer that's in outer space right now?
Yeah.
What is with each passing year, his legacy is taking even more greater heat.
It's right.
Every conference finals, conference semi exit. So I'm just wondering how long will LeBron continue? And it's not his fault. Definitely not his fault. He's been available. Just that his teammates and the team that he's managed to have certainly didn't work. And we've seen it again, unfortunately. The entire season, everything was going well.
Yeah.
And with teams left, you lose two of your better players.
At the most unfortunate time, man. Yeah.
Right into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Hamstring injury is not something that if it's really a hamstring injury, you don't come back.
They said they need at least a month's long amount of rest and rehab. I think I saw a report as well today that says that he's going to be flown to Europe to actually get treatment on that. So they're sparing no expenses to make sure that he gets ready and gets the level of treatment that he needs to be able to get that. I want to make sure I'm quoting the story that I read right. Shams Charania quoted it this morning, and I was like, oh wow, that's really something else.
Come back for the second round. As I said, we probably could squeeze depending on the opponent. I'll take because Anthony Edwards is not healthy now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll take the Timberwolves without Anthony Edwards now and see if Luka and Austin probably can come up for conference semis.
Well, yeah, that would be, probably the earliest point for him. The tweet from Shams Charania says, after consultation with the Lakers doctors and his own medical team, Luka Doncic will seek specialized medical treatment in Europe on grade 2 left hamstring in an attempt to expedite his return to play. So, take the 8, 9, 10-hour trip to another country to kind of get that specialized treatment. It's probably the best thing. He's out for 2 weeks anyway. So him getting a week out to kind of get that rehab in a specialized location in Europe, wherever it might be. He could have gone to Timbuktu for anyone cares. Him just being able to go far to get the treatment that he needs that probably Ellie doesn't have is the best thing for the Lakers to do. So spend the money to make sure that you could salvage whatever you can from the season. Because if Luka is not there, you can't ask LeBron James to take this team past the first round, which we say is something that we have to watch really closely. And beyond that, if LeBron is able to get this team past the first round, credit to him. That'd be really good. But you need Luka definitely for anything moving forward, and Austin Reaves for sure. You need that three-headed monster to make sure you could kind of get past to progress into the playoffs and into the rounds. And the last thing we're going to discuss here really quickly as well with the few minutes that we have left is speaking about the 4-5 seed, and if Lakers kind of tumble down into the fourth position, they'll have to play the Rockets. And of course, the star player for the Rockets right now is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, of course, is in a situation where his career is being watched really closely, and dare I say, similar to LeBron James, of course, different circumstances and a different narrative will be given. But if Kevin Durant enters these playoffs, and let's say he gets ousted in the first round with these Rockets, oh my guy's going to have a very bad set of narratives being written about him. I said in a Sportsmax episode in May 2024, after the Phoenix Suns were ousted by the Minnesota Timberwolves again, swept in the first round, I said that Kevin Durant's legacy is complicated and going to be very diluted.
NBA basketball. Your thoughts on where his career is at the moment?
Kevin Durant, for me, when I think about him and him exiting this season, the first word that just came to mind was complicated. He leaves a very complicated legacy. Just thinking back of what has happened to him since he's left Golden State, which is the key point for him and the defining moment in his career, winning those 2 championships that he did, becoming the finals MVP that he did, leaving the Oklahoma City Thunder like he did after being up 3-1 and joining that Golden State Warrior team. And then after that, Golden State winning after he left, him going to Brooklyn, things not working out, and now him here with the Suns, being one of those leaders of that team and being swept, in the first round, that says quite a lot. And I think it leaves a very complicated and diluted legacy for Kevin Durant, which is, kind of part of his doing. Because of, this is an all-time great, he won 2 championships with the Warriors, 2 finals MVPs, etc., etc. But, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with this playoff run. And of course, he has the built-in excuse of, oh, they don't have a point guard and, this and that and whatever it is. But what do you think about Kevin Durant in the last 5 minutes that we have? With these playoffs coming in, what do you think is his legacy is going to be? How far does he need to take this team to kind of maintain a positive look in people's eyes? Or is he just going to be criticized regardless of what the outcome is?
All right, so let's do it quick. This is the first time Kevin Durant is really the man front and center at a team since his rookie days at OKC Thunder. OKC Thunder, Westbrook, James Harden, won NBA Finals, lost to LeBron James. After which he went to the Golden State Warriors, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Steph Curry. At his peak, he won 2 NBA titles in 3 years. He wasn't a bus rider. He was the bus driver during that champion. Let's not forget about it. But if you can't tell, but the numbers don't lie. 32 points per game, 9.4 rebounds, 5.5 assists per game in his first title. Second year, 28.8 points per game, 10.8 rebounds per game, 7 assists per game. So those numbers are star numbers when it comes to the NBA Finals and winning a title. Not a problem. You had significant help.
Yes.
Brooklyn Nets, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, your peak conference semifinal.
Mm-hmm.
Went to the Suns, Devin Booker as your sidekick. Conference semi.
Yes.
You lost the Nuggets that season, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So this time we are seeing Kevin Durant front and center, as I said, at an NBA team since his rookie days at the OKC Thunder. This is what everyone was waiting for. What will Kevin Durant do at the Rockets? Yeah, I don't care who Kevin Durant and the Rockets join the first round. They should overwhelm them easily based on the trajectory of the Rockets this season.
Yes.
How far they go, that's another question. And I'm watching the Rockets closer than I'm watching the LA Lakers because Kevin Durant hasn't been held to the same discussions and argument and critique like LeBron James. I think the caliber of LeBron James is an all-time great, yes, but there have been some whispers along the way that say when it comes to greatness, Kevin Durant name gets mumbled in the LeBron James discussion. So I'm watching Kevin Durant and seeing what his Rockets team will do and how far they will go. Because at the end of the day, yes, no one can say you never won an NBA title. You have 2.
That's it.
But you won them with a team that you were up 3-1 against in the previous season. So at 37 years old, Kevin Durant is now experienced. He knows what it takes to be on this level. So there are no excuses from Kevin Durant as to why he can't lead this team to at least a conference finals.
True.
Yeah? A conference finals, okay. First season, you have a young squad playing with. I'll take conference finals. You lose at the conference finals level, but I cannot accept a first round or a second round exit from Kevin Durant and the Houston Rockets this season. You are now the bus driver of this team. If you want to be mentioned among the greats, lead your team to somewhere. Lead them to the promised land. And the promised land is not first or second.
Absolutely agree with you there. But like I said, they probably had this built-in excuse, but Raphael Stone, who's the executive of the Houston Rockets, he made a fatal error not trying to see if he could help this team out by getting a point guard. I think it's great to have the trust in your team and your trust in an all-timer like Kevin Durant and a coach who we know is very capable in Ime Udoka. But I think Raphael Stone, not to take the heat away from Kevin Durant, because I totally agree with you. He needs to lead this team through to where they need to get to. But I think this will be an exercise in realizing your faults as you go through it. Because they will be plagued by some of the issues. We've seen a few moments where Kevin Durant in games where he's just exasperated with the decisions, the late game decisions that are being made by some of his players, and sometimes he has to bring the ball up. He's kind of turned the ball over in late game situations as well, and not having a point guard is a situation is what that kind of leads to in that sort of situation. But I think you're right. He was put in this position and thrust into this position in leadership to show that, he could guide this team. This is your team. Don't worry about Alfred Şengün, who's there. He's a really good player, good young player who needs to be guided by the Hall of Famer that you are. And the leadership. And then, of course, we saw during the All-Star break, there was this whole controversy about some burner phone again, Kevin Durant in a burner phone, calling out some of his teammates, which would be really interesting. So all of this will come into sharp focus if they get out of the playoffs really early, because, it were their team chemistry issues, team structure issues. Ime Udoka had called them soft quite a few times in the media and everything. So this will all kind of really impact his legacy. And I said it 2 years ago. This, him being left out of the playoffs, being sent home in early April, left a complicated and diluted legacy for Kevin Durant. We are 2 years later, and I could probably say the same thing if he gets ousted in the first round or early in the second round the same way. We expect more from him. We think he has the talent to lead a team. Between him and LeBron at one point in time, it was between the both of them who were the best in the league. He proved, he was the best at a point in time, winning those 2 championships with the Warriors. But now it's your time. You're the leader of this team, and we want to see what he could do with these playoffs. This would be like the purest, despite them not having a point guard, this would be the purest playoff appearance for Kevin Durant. It's all on you, bro. It's all on you. This is you leading this team on the floor, right? So this will be the moment where he needs to really step up. And yeah, if he gets ousted early in the second round, or the first round of the second round, the epitaph on his career, and of course, I don't want to think about it like that because he still has a few more high-level seasons to go. But what will be said that stretch after the Golden State Warriors? The post was from Paulie Market Hoops. I'm going to read it. Kevin Durant has never made it back to a conference final since playing with Steph Curry and the Warriors. He's also had multiple star teammates since then and couldn't pull it off. And then they list out the players: Kyrie, Harden, Ben Simmons. The fact that you mentioned Ben Simmons is funny, but Ben Simmons, Devin Booker, CP3, and now Şengün and Thompson. They're calling out all-star players that he's played with. And, we kind of do this for LeBron. Oh, he's had so many first-round picks who's played with him and all-stars and Hall of Famers. Yeah, I think it's right to do that to Kevin Durant as well, because he has had that talent next to him, and, he's underachieved. Yes, a lot of it has not been his fault. Brooklyn, for example, the injuries to Harden, the injury to Kyrie, the decision to go to Brooklyn as well, that was a whole other story. We could get into that, but we won't. But he's had talent around him and he hasn't been able to produce. I think that team with Bradley Beal, although he was injured, and Devin Booker in Phoenix, that team totally underachieved as well. So yeah, complicated legacy for Kevin Durant, as he moves forward. I think he needs at least one more ring as well to kind of cement himself, one of those, do it without Steph kind of rings to kind of really make people look at him properly. The same way Steph had to win it without him, the same way Kobe had to do it without Shaq. this is a situation for Kevin Durant. He needs to win a ring without these guys for people to be able to say, like, yeah, your legacy is secure. Now, he will say, I don't need to prove anything. My legacy is secure. I've been a scoring champ. I've been an MVP and all of that. And he will be right in that regard. He's had a tremendous career. But when we start talking about all-time greats and we're positioning that kind of history, I think he needs to secure that one more ring to be able to kind of really put himself high up on that ladder, moving forward. And yeah, this comes with the ending of our episode here, episode 19. Really great chat. So if you have missed anything from what we said, we spoke a little bit about the Cooper Flagg, rookie of the year situation. He's played really good, the last couple of weeks and has had a really good season, his rookie season. But, will he beat out Kon Knueppel for the rookie of the year? Of course, we looked at the Los Angeles Lakers, and their current situation and the injuries to Austin Reaves and Luka Doncic. And then, of course, finishing off here right now with a little bit of a legacy conversation about Kevin Durant and everything moving forward. We're moving into the playoffs. Like we said, these teams have about 3 to 4 more games left. I called out the games for the Lakers, the Rockets, play the Suns, 76ers, Wolves, and Grizzlies. Denver, the 4th seed, play the Blazers, Grizzlies, OKC, Spurs. The Wolves, Pacers, Magic, Rockets, Pelicans. The last couple of games for these teams will determine a lot of things for this in terms of standings. Same for the teams in the East. We'll see what happens moving forward. And then we get into the playoffs where everyone is looking forward to see who is going to be crowned champion. Will the OKC Thunder remain, or will somebody oust them? Would the Spurs have anything to say about that? Or also the Denver Nuggets and the guys from the East as well. So, Oren, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your Easter Monday. Episode 19 now done. Go get it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere else. Like we said, we're going to continue to do this until the end of the season. And we'd like to thank you for watching. And, just like and subscribe and share, comment as usual. And we shall see you in episode 20 coming up really soon. Thank you very much, Oren. And we'll see you soon.
Sure.
Respect. All right.
Yeah. From the hardwood floor to the spotlight glow, breaking down the stats every fan should know. Trace, place, legends in the making. Every headline, no mistaking. Fast breaks, crossovers, highlight reels. What's real strategy, what's hype and feels. East to west, we call it straight. From draft night buzz to finals fade. Baseline to baseline, we cover it all. Big plays, bold takes the rise and the fall. Baseline to baseline, where passion is prime. Your NBA